Tonight's result in San Mamés felt like more than a scoreboard update. It was a statement. Arsenal travelled to a hostile, compact athletic club and left with a 2-0 victory that exposes a new side of this team. Steady under pressure, clever in the details, and ruthless when the moment arrives. For large stretches, the first half belonged to Athletic, who clogged the channels, pressed the fullbacks and made every Arsenal touch a test. But what separated the visitors wasn't flair, it was discipline. Mikel Arteta quietly shifted his structure, tightened the midfield connections, and waited for the moment Athletic's rigidity left that tiny crack. When it came, Arsenal didn't panic, they exploited it with surgical calm. The goals didn't arrive from chaotic brilliance, they came from rehearsed movement, from a patient build that turned pressing into space, and from players who had the ice-cold nerve to finish under heat. That ability to absorb a physical, frustrating first half and still emerge in control speaks to a deeper maturity. Too often in the past, Arsenal would have wilted, chasing the game and gifting momentum. Tonight they showed the opposite, a team that can manage tempo, manage emotion, and then flip the game open when the time is right. That's a different proposition for any opponent. Tactically, the match read as a textbook Arteta tweak. The midfield compacted laterally to stop Athletic's overloads. The wing-backs timed their forward runs not to be isolated, but to create numerical superiority in the half space, and the press was selective, intense when Athletic looked to play out, and patient when tempo favoured retaining possession. Defensively, the backline dealt calmly with Athletic's long throws and set-piece scrambles, and the goalkeeper's distribution gave Arsenal first-phase control more often than not. Individually, certain performances stood out not merely for moments of brilliance but for consistency. Players tracking runners, making the extra pass, and choosing the less flashy but more effective option. Those small decisions add up in big games. Beyond the match itself, the significance is immediate and wide-ranging. In a Champions League group, where away points can decide the outcome, winning in Spain is a heavy currency. It shifts pressure onto rivals and buys Arsenal breathing room. Psychologically, a difficult away night turned into 3 points will ripple through a dressing room. Confidence is contagious, and for the narrative around this side, tonight narrows the gap between being a promising project and being a real contender. Rivals in England and Europe will now have to plan for a team that can grind a result and still strike clinically. That perception change matters. Referees, pundits, and opponents all begin to treat you differently when you collect results like this. Does this mean Arsenal are guaranteed to go all the way? Of course not. Football is long and injuries and form swings arrive without warning. But what it does mean is tangible progress. The squad depth looked functional rather than fragile, tactical flexibility was on display, and the mentality to win away, in an atmosphere designed to unsettle visitors, was audible even in the stands. For Arteta, it's another entry in a growing resume, a manager who prepares, adapts, and trusts his players to execute under duress. For supporters, it's a night to savour, not because every problem is solved, but because a team that once folded under pressure now finds ways to win through it. As the season unfolds, the real test will be sustaining this temperament across cup competitions, domestic grind, and the Champions League's oscillating intensity. But for tonight, Arsenal have moved from doubt into danger, and the football world is taking notice.